Welcome to Halachot Niddah. This will be part 14 of the class. Today's topic is called interval veset. In Hebrew, it's going to be called veset ha'haflaga. We have learned one type of veset yesterday, which is called ona benunit, the average onam, that the 30th day from the last time that a woman saw, she has to stay away from her husband. Today we are learning a different type of veset, which is called an interval veset, and in Hebrew is called veset haflaga. Now, as we're going to continue, there's also going to be other types of veset, meaning periods that she's anticipating to get her blood flow. And that time, or those times, a husband and wife need to stay away from each other. They cannot have relations. So as of now, we've learned ona benunit, that is the first veset he has to stay away from. Today we're going to learn veset haflaga. And these vestot that we're speaking about is specifically going on women who do not have an established cycle. In his Sefer Taharat Abayit, Rav David Yosef Shlita brings down and he says, V'chen, and so too, after we saw in the previous class that a person has to distance himself from his wife on day 30th, which is the ona benunit. So continues Rav David and he says, V'chen, and so too, tzarich habal lifrosh mi'ishto, a husband also needs to separate from his wife. Specifically, we're speaking about Be'isha she'en la veset kavua. We're speaking about a woman who does not have an established cycle. Gam biyom haflaga ha'achrona. Also on the last interval. Now, before we continue, I want to just show it to you so you guys can see what's going on over here. This again is a makeshift calendar. I revised it, I redid it. Now, we're going to see you have the month over here of Av, and then you have the month of Elul. These numbers right over here on top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right here on the bottom, right over here, 8, right, not that, no, not that. Not the bottom number. These numbers right over here on top. These numbers right over here, 8, 9, 10, all these numbers are the calendar dates. The numbers that you see on the bottom of those numbers, I went ahead and I did the counting not to take up a lot of your time. So I went ahead and I did the counting for us already. And we'll do it together, we'll read it, but I already typed it in. So when you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all this are days counting up to when she's going to see next. So the top line is the date of the month. The bottom line, the second row, is the days that she's counting up before she's going to see again. Rav David Yosef Shlita in the Sefer Taharat Abayit is going to introduce a new concept, which is called the veset haflaga, interval cycle. What does that mean? If you guys pay attention, I'm just choosing random dates. I don't want to go with day 1 because I want people to be able to get used to it and know how to calculate. So this is an interval cycle. If a woman saw on the 6th of the month, and the next time she saw towards the end of the month on day 30, not on counting 30 days from then, no. Because 30 days from number 6 is not 30. It's going to be, this is 25, it's going to be on day 5 right over here. It's going to be over here, on day 5 of the month. That's 30 days. But right now what I want to show you is like this. If a woman saw on the 6th of the month, we're going to wait until she gets her second period. So remember, what did we say before? A woman needs to count until on a Benunit. So let's say over here, on the 6th of the month she got it, we're going to count 30 days from here in order to get to the period. So let's go. To meaning to Ona Benunit, average Ona. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. There's a reason why I left it blank. 1 second. 26, 27, 28, 29, okay, 30. This Rabotai over here is going to be her average Ona. This over here is going to be her average Ona. What happened was like this. Rabotai, listen to this very carefully. A woman got her period on the 6th of the month, let's say in the month of Av. She's waiting to get her period on the Benunit, on this day right over here. She's waiting to get a period on the average Ona, which is day 30th. But what happened? She didn't get it on day 30th. She got it on day 25. She was counting. Everything was going good. Everything was going good. 1 second. There we go. She was counting. Everything was going fine. She got to 24. She wanted to continue counting until 30. But she came across day 25, which is the 30th of the month of Av. And she saw blood. Rabotai, listen to this very carefully. Once she sees blood over here, then this Ona over here gets erased. Now she doesn't have to be afraid of this. It's very simple. Why doesn't she have to be afraid of this? 1 second. Why doesn't she have to be afraid of this? Because it's no point. Because of here, Rabotai, it's not 30, it's number 5. This 30th day doesn't really exist because this 30th day is one of her Niddah days. So therefore, when she got it on the 25th, now pay close attention. This is called Vesed Haflaga, an internal cycle, not internal, interval cycle. What happened? Since she saw on the 6th of the month, and then she saw at the end of the 30th of the month, when I count from this day, from the 6th of the month, and I count till the end of the month, because that's when she saw, which is going to be exactly 25 days. This is called, now a woman has an interval cycle. What does that teach me? Okay, good. Well, what does that do? Very simple. Now this woman is no longer Rabotai, she no longer has one on after she establishes the second time when she sees, she no longer has one period that she's anticipating to stay away from her husband. Now she has another owner that she has to stay away from her husband. So one of them we spoke about was, let me just do this 1 second. One of them we spoke about that is Ona Benunit. That's the average cycle, 30 days. Now this woman has what's called an interval cycle, Vesed Haflaga. In this case, Rabotai, she just established herself for just that month, 25 days interval. So let's put over 25 days. How does it benefit her? What's going on over here? Rabotai, listen to this carefully. Now that she got her period right over here, from this day, from day number 30, That's why I didn't write it before. From day number 30, this will be day number 1 to count to 25 days. Because now she has an interval cycle also. So she has over here 2 things. She has on the Benunit she has to be afraid of, and an interval cycle. Now, in both of these cases, in the Ona Benunit and the Vesta Flaga, nobody said she's going to see. We're afraid she might come to see. So yesterday we were learning that the husband has to stay away from her only on the average Ona. Today we're adding an extra day that a husband has to stay away from her, which is the Haflaga, the interval. So that means like this, Rabotai. If on this day she received the last cycle, which gives me that was 25 days from the previous cycle, from 6 to 30, 25 days. Now she has to count 25 days. And if she doesn't see on the 25th day, she has to count to the 30th day. And if she doesn't see on the 30th day, she's allowed to be with her husband after she does the cleaning. So watch this, Rabotai. I'm not going to write everything. I'm just going to go straight. I already did the calendar. So let's say we're going to count this as day number 1. Elul, the first of Elul is going to be day number 2, etc. and so on and so forth. We're going to continue. When I reach day number 24th, the date of the 24th of Elul, that's day number 25. This day, the husband's not allowed to have relations with her. Now, we're going to wait. Is she getting a period or not? If she didn't get her period, no problem. The husband, again, those same laws what we learned in the previous class apply here also. If, let's say, she received in the previous period, let's say over here she received, let's say, 1 second. Let's say over here on day 1, right over here on the 25th day, she received the period during, I'm going to go the night, just to confuse you a little bit. She received during the night, no problem. Then again, remember Jewish calendar only. Then on the 24th of the night, she has to stay away from her husband. And the day before the 24th of the night, and the day after the 24th of the night, she's allowed to sleep with her husband. So Rabotai, she's waiting right now over here. Right, so we explained over here that she saw, let's say, at night. That means on the 24th of the night, which is the 25th day, to her seeing where she's anticipating the period is supposed to come, she's not allowed to sleep with her husband. But what happens if she didn't get it? She didn't get the Vesed. It didn't come. We're going to tell you no problem. She's allowed, again, so this is Rabotai. So 1 second. So let's do this. She's staying away from her husband on the 24th of the night. Now, Rabotai, it's very sad that this, it's not a Hebrew calendar, but you would know how you would do it, correct? Let me just show you over here. I just want to make sure you guys are getting it. If I'm saying that on the 24th of the night she has to stay away from her husband, it's not going to be during the day, it's going to be during the night. And the night of the 24th began on the 23rd, right over on the bottom. So when we say that she's allowed to be with her husband during the day, during the 23rd she'll be able to be with her husband during the day. The 24th of the night she's not allowed to be. And then the 24th of the day, which is over here, because the night is really over here, correct? The night is at the, because you have day and the night. You have day and night. So at the night you're not allowed to be with him. But during the day you're allowed to be with him. Rabotai, refer back to my other class where I spoke about how to calculate. I hope you guys going one by one because this whole thing builds one on top of another. Okay. So, just to make it, I shouldn't have complicated, right? But let me just make it simple. Just always follow the Hebrew calendar. You will not have a problem. Let's say, and the last cycle, she saw during the day. Right over here, she saw during the day, okay? Good, she saw during the day, perfect. So on the 24th during the day, the husband has to stay away from her. But the night before the day, and the night after the day, he's allowed to be with her as long as she's clean. Now, remember, she has to do an internal checking before sunset. Now, she didn't get the period on the anticipated interval, which is the 25-day interval, no problem. We tell you, you're allowed to be with your husband on the 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th becomes day number 30. Because if you look into the date where it says number 24, which is day 25 of our interval, if I count the date of the 25, it's going to be 26. The date of 26 is going to be day number 27 to our counting. The date of 27 is going to be 28 to our counting. The date 28 is going to be 29th to the last time she saw her. Date 29th is going to give me day 30. That's what I wrote over here, day 30, right over here. This is the average owner. Now, Rabotai, look at this carefully. You see you have two onot, you have two periods where she's anticipating to see her period, even though she's 100% pure. So you can't sleep with your wife, according to my calendar, on the 24th, and then you cannot also sleep with your wife on the 29th, because that's the onot benunit from the last time when she saw. So watch this, Rabotai, one more time. What's an interval cycle? Interval cycle we'll see when you have two ri'iyot, you have two times when a woman sees. With one I cannot establish because I need another one to may have an interval. So if a woman saw on the 6th of the month, no problem. I just have to be afraid of on a benunit. But what happens if the woman saw it 25 days later, right over here? She saw it 25 days later, which on the 30th of the month, no problem. Beautiful. I don't have to worry for the 30th day because there's no 30th day now because you're going to have 5 Niddah days because you're going to be bleeding. Beautiful. Now when I start counting again from day 30, which is day number 1, to the count of 30, I also have to count 25 days from here. So I'm going to start from over here, and from day number 30 is going to be day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And on the 24th of the date of Elul is going to be day number 25. Over here I tell the woman, stay away from your husband. You're not allowed to have relations with him. She didn't see, doesn't internal bidika, no problem. Continue having relations. 25, 26, 27, 28. 29th again, she has to stay away from her husband because that's on the benunit. So you see over here, we have introduced another cycle, another period where a husband and a wife are not allowed to have relations even though she's 100% pure. Having that in mind, let's go back to today's class. So comes Rav David Yosef Shultan, he says, V'chen, and so too, tzarich la'habal lifrosh m'ishto, and so too the husband needs to separate from his wife. Be'isha she'en la veset kavua. We're dealing over here specifically with a woman who does not have an established cycle. Gam biyom ha'haflaga ha'achrona. Also by her last interval. Dahainu, what does that mean? Which means, שיש לחשב את הימים שבין ראייתה האחרונה לבין זו שקדמה לה. You have to consider, you have to count, you have to enumerate her last seeing with the previous seeing. Like this. Her last seeing is going to be over here. We spoke about right. Her last seeing was right over here. To the previous one, which is over here, number 6. When we calculate it, we get 25 days. Now, when that day again is gonna come, you need to go ahead and you need to separate from her. Let me show you over here again. So now that I know that it is day, now that I know that her interval is every 25 days, she has to go ahead and she has to, from here we're going to count 25 days, and now she has to separate from her husband, which is going to be on the 24th of Elul, which is day 25, from the last time that she saw. He gives us an example. Kigon, for example, אם היו בין שתי ראיותיך האחרונות 25 ימים, if between her last seeings, she had 25 days interval, 25 days from the last time to the first time that she saw her. Tzarich ba'ala lifrosh memenu la'achar 25 yamim. The husband needs to separate from his wife after 25 days. Miyom vesta ha'acharon, from the last veset. Right? From here. From this last day. You go after this day. You always go after the last riyah. You always go after the last seeing. Now, Rabotai, you're going to have a very big problem over here. I'll make it a little bit of a problem. What happens if the woman saw over here her period during the night? She saw during the night. So, over here, she saw during the day. What do you follow? Do you say that he has to stay away from his wife when it comes to day 25? He has to stay away from her day and night? Because on the first one she saw at night, the second one she saw at day. What am I doing? What am I following? Comes Rav David Yosef Shlita and he says, V'im vesta ha'acharon hitchil balayla, and if the last vested began at night, v'haveset shelafanav bayom, and the vested prior to that was during the day, v'chen lehefech, and so to opposite. What happens if the last vested was during the day, and the vested before that was during the night, like I showed you over here? The last vested was during the day, and the one before that was during the night, or this one was during the day, number 6 was during the day, and this one was during the night. Doesn't matter. Tzarich lifrosh memena ke'onat vesta achron. You need to separate from your wife like the last ona. Which means to say, if in our scenario, since the last time when she received her period, which was day number 25, from the last time that she saw, it was during the day. Beautiful. I'm not concerned about this night. That means when I count 25 days from here and I get to day 25 over here, when am I not allowed to sleep with my wife? During the day only. Not also the night. You don't include the night. Do not be a chassid. Do not be a chassid shoteh. Do not take that privilege, that simcha away from your wife. Rabotai, Chazara, review. What is Yom HaFlaga? It is the day marking the same interval of days between two previous periods. Example, if her last two periods came 25 days apart, the couple must separate again 25 days after the last period, since she may menstruate then. Practical case, if her last period was on Rosh Chodesh, on the 30th of the month, right over here, if her last period was on Rosh Chodesh, meaning the 30th of the month, and the one before was on the 6th of the previous month, over here, okay? That's 25 days apart. How do we get 25 days? Very simple. We count it from day number 6 till day 30th. We count over here. That is 25 days. Therefore, the husband must separate from her 25 days after her most recent period on the 25th day after the last onset. Like this. 25 days later, after she already knows her interval, 25 days later will be right over here. He has to separate from her. Details about day and night distinction. Okay, what happens if she saw during the day on one period and then the last one she saw at night? What am I supposed to do? One during the day, one during the night, or the other way around, one during the night and one during the day? If the last period began at the night, but the previous one began during the day, we still count the interval as is. You keep it the way it is. Accordingly, the separation must be at the same ona as the most recent onset. So it comes out over here in our situation that if this woman saw over here during the night and over here she saw during the day, we're going to tell you on the 25th of the day, you're going to separate from her during the day. Now, but Rabotai, we also have to remember, okay, this I wrote, one second. We also have to remember the interval cycle is in addition to the average cycle. This is very important to remember. So therefore, if a woman didn't get it on day number 25, doesn't mean she doesn't have to be concerned. We're going to tell you, you're allowed to have a relationship with your husband 25, 26, 27, 28. On the 29th, since it's day 30 from the last time that you saw, over there we're going to tell you have to stay away from your husband. So Rabotai, today we learned another new principle. Veset hahaflagot. Interval cycles. Yesterday we learned Ona Benunit. Today we learned Veset haflaga. Bezrat Hashem Rabotai, in the following class, we will also add another Veset. And this Rabotai, a lot of people unfortunately don't know. They think that's it. As long as she's clean, I could be with her until she sees the blood. No. Even when a woman is pure, you're not allowed to have relations with her. Have a great day. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen ve'amen.